All right, so welcome everyone to the weekly Wednesday coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto, and today we're just going to jump right in and see if we can help out Shannon. So Shannon, how can we help? Uh-oh. She's frozen. I'm sure she's going to come right back. Come on, Shannon. All right. Okay. We might have lost her. Hopefully she'll come back in. Okay, so while we wait for Shannon to get back in. Oh, there she is. Unmute. I'm gonna have to edit this.
If someone wants to go, I can wait. I'm so sorry.
It looks like it's sticking because you're in the car. Yep, it's sticking, Shannon.
Oh, just a minute. I can just listen.
Okay. All right. See if you get into a better spot, let me know. Oh no, she's done. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not working. Okay, Antoinette, I think you were gonna jump in.
Well, I mean, if Shannon can't come back, I mean, I could use a little bit of coaching.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, let's do it.
What do you got for me?
What do I got for you? Well, I'm in one of the best spots I've ever been in. I mean, I'm loving recovery. I'm eating it all up, but I want more and more. And I mean, I finally got to a point where, I don't even want alcohol. I don't even want any drugs. I'm doing really well. And I was all kind of COVID paranoid, but I got both my shots. So I'm feeling good about that. And I got rid of the toxic people in my life. I got rid of the toxic job I had. I mean, I'm doing really well. And today I had to go for some follow-up tests for some shady previous tests. And I found out today that I have cancer.
What?
So, yeah, cancer. So I'm like, ooh, but I got some really good, what's really positive is I drinking it didn't even cross my mind. I was like, well, let me go, grab a bite to eat and get some rest. I got the recovery coaching call at 5. I want to be there. I didn't plan to talk, but nobody else stepped up. But I don't know. Some people say they don't give you more than you can handle. 6 months ago, if I would have heard this, I'd have been off to the races. I'd have been drinking, and it would have been the best excuse in the world. You're dying anyway. Who the fuck cares? Oh, pardon my language, you're recording. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And now I feel like, well, I'm in a place where I can take it, and I'm going to kick its ass, of course. So, I mean, but in the meantime, I could use your counsel, sir.
Yes. I'm so glad you jumped in, because this is one of those things that'll sneak up on you. Yeah. So, and I can feel your energy from over here. I can sense the gratitude, and I can sense the excitement, and I can sense, the strength, but it's almost like, once the adrenaline wears off, because there's a lot of adrenaline right now.
There is.
Yeah.
There is. And I wanted to stay positive for my partner, who I knew could go south really quick. This handsome young devil here, he's my nephew. Hello. So he's here for support.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do you want to tell him?
I just got out of drug rehab, and my drug of choice is alcohol. So I'm on about 49, 50 days
Yeah.
sober.
Yeah. So he's going to take care of me. He's my, well, he's going to take care of his other aunt, Teresa.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
We're all taking care.
we're
of
all
each
taking
other.
care of each other, really. And many cats. I told you about the cats. Some cats I can open up to, some cats I can't, but go ahead.
And really, this is where the opportunity to be of service is going to be such a key to everyone staying sober. Okay, so that, you know, both of you right here can support each other in sobriety, but the opportunity to help you right now emotionally as you navigate through this, because it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. Okay. And so what you don't want to do is try and fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, and it's kind of like last week. If you remember last week's call, it was Leo and I discussing, you know, how I show up to calls, how he, you know, how do you want to show up on the call, right? With confidence and strength. Like, I may have stuff going on in the background, but when I show up for my clients, you know, I show up ready, I show up strong. But in the background, I have to be able to express how I feel, to feel the feelings. Okay. Allow yourself to go through it, Antoinette, you know. And as a matter of fact, let's just take the warrior, because there's the warrior right now is who showed up to the call. Right. And the chances are you've probably been a warrior your whole life.
Been accused of that before.
Mm-hmm.
In the work I used to do, when I went to trauma training, they said, well, we know the mark of the wounded warrior. That's what you are. And that's why you do what you do at work. Yeah.
Right. So there's another facet of you, and that's the softer, more delicate side of Antoinette, that's very much guarded by the warrior. The warrior protects her and takes care of her.
Yeah.
Okay? And so in this place where we're at right now, first of all, you have me here, and you've got Leo, you know, you've also got your nephew, you know, and you've got 12 other people on this call. Right now is a good opportunity, if you choose to be vulnerable, to say you've said the part that's the most important part, right? I'm going to be sober. I'm not thinking about drinking. I'm going to beat this thing. Mm-hmm. Right. But there's another part of you that has a voice too. Does she have something she wants to say?
Yeah. Well, right now she's probably going like, why me? Haven't I gone through enough? Didn't I prove that I can stay sober and be a decent human being? And I did that for what? To get chopped down by cancer? What the hell? You know? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I had a friend who, you know, finally beat heroin, and he was doing so well. He was doing so great. He was starting to write. He was doing all these beautiful, amazing things. And then got hit by a truck on the way home from work.
He was a young guy.
And was killed. Yeah. Early 20s, you know, and it's that same voice. When I went and sat down by the place that he was killed and put something on the little you know, at the cross, just sitting there thinking, you know, why go through all this shit? I mean, that's just one voice. There's a voice over here that knows, no, you're doing this sober. You're not doing it that way. But you asked me for the other voice. That's this one over here. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And just like the warrior voice needs to be heard, so does the other voice, right? Because to a certain degree, there's questions.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I paid a lot of dues to
right.
it. You know, I've been making amends all over the place, turned my life upside down, white knuckled it on and off for years. You know what I mean? I feel like I deserve a good life at this.
So if we let's see if we can let's see if we can answer some questions. And most of the time, not most of the time, all the time, that the answers come from within. So if you were to guess, if you were to say, what is this here to teach me? Is there an answer that comes up as I ask that question?
Maybe what it's here to teach me is what comes two things come to mind. One thing is I don't know how to put it. The one thing I think it is here to teach me is I am strong enough to overcome things, and that I don't think anything is going to be put on my plate that I can't handle. I mean, I've come this far, and there's no reason why that shouldn't continue. And I think it also is in teaching, it's that constant reminder, that humbled, to be grateful for what I have. You know, I mean, I was out, it was an ugly day out, but I was actually enjoying staying there in the mist, watching the birds chirp and so forth afterwards, because I thought, you know, soak this in. Don't take any of this shit for granted, you know? Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. So let's go back to the first statement. I am strong enough to overcome anything.
Well, anything that's been put before me already. I haven't died yet. I've survived it all so far.
When was the first time you had to be strong?
The first time I had to be really strong was I was a little kid, fourth, maybe, I think it was fourth grade, or maybe fifth, I don't know. But my bedroom is down at the end of the hall. My mother and her husband, they were both alcoholics, and they sometimes, I mean, they almost always got drunk, but they usually fought, and sometimes it got physical. And I could hear that it was getting physical. That it was going towards that. That he basically, my stepfather was kind of a maniac, and he attacked my mother. And there's a bedroom right exactly in between us, and my older brother was there, and he's 3 years older than me, and he's a boy, so he's twice my size. He's big. He's that close. And I'm thinking to myself, Mick, go help mom, before she gets her ass, you know, handed to her. And she screamed out for help, and she screamed out for me. So I grabbed my baseball bat and I ran into my parents' room, kicked the door, held the baseball bat up to my stepfather, told him to get the F out or I'd smash him over the head. And he eyed me up. And I think he thought, yeah, she'll try it. But he staggered backwards and got in his car and left. So that was the first time I really had to be strong that I can remember. I didn't want to, I was scared to death.
So something happened in that moment. You took on a role. What role did you take on?
I don't know. I was my mother's protector. I was her, you know, her number one enabler, and I took care of her ever since then.
When did you ever allow somebody to fuck with you? I really wasn't very good at that. No.
I mean, I'm not thinking of anything. Deck, what do you think?
I mean, there's a couple stories that sound like, what about that guy who broke your ribs?
Oh, that was a work thing. Yeah, we were always getting our ass kicked at work, our asses handed to us. I worked with some very violent guys. And so, yeah, I got beat up a couple of times, but that's not really fucking with me. That's me doing my job and just, you know, not having a good day that day. Anyway, and it was fine because then I got to fill out a little workers' comp claim, got to go to the doctor. They gave me opioids to get rid of the pain, and that, you know, take them, then you start all over again. I mean, it was all good. But no, I can't really remember a lot of that.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have been strong your whole life
Pretty much.
because you did not have a choice. Strong is the only thing you knew how to be. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You weren't allowed to cry. That was weakness.
Mhm.
I mean, that was like one of the worst things in the world was crying, showing emotion, negative emotion. Like if things weren't cool or things weren't, I'm not tough or can't handle shit.
Okay. All right. So I want you to imagine that what we do, the situations that we put ourselves in. For example, this job that you have where you got your ribs broken, what kind of job is that?
It was not a good job. It was a very bad job to have.
What'd you do?
You were taking care of people.
Well, we were taking care of people, helping people get out of institutions and into a community. But this particular gentleman had no business being there at that point with the supports they were providing. I tried to explain that it was very unsafe. But anyway, I was supposed to be a sleepover guy, and the other guy was supposed to be awake. And we both ended up being awake for 12 hours while he tries to kill us, basically. And when he finally did go to sleep, we decided to take turns sleeping. So this is how my ribs got broken. I went to sleep on a reclining couch. The other staff guy fell asleep. The guy we were serving woke up, attacked me in my sleep. And during the attack, he broke several ribs. I was already really tired because I'd lost a lot of blood at the beginning of the shift when he broke my nose. I mean, there's a lot of blood that comes out of that. And I mean, I just had so many injuries at that point. But I mean, while he had me down, strangling me, I kind of blacked out. And a second later, or whenever I came back, I mean, I wasn't drinking or anything. It was just I thought he was going to kill me. And I blacked out. And a second later, when I came to, I was on top of him, holding him down, sort of strangling. And he's screaming, "Don't kill me, don't kill me." And I let him up. I felt bad that I did that, but apparently I think my life was in danger or something,
Okay. So I'm not surprised that's how it turned out. Okay. I'm not surprised that's how it turned out.
But I mean, he was 18 and he was huge, and I was just this little woman at the time. So I don't know how that happened.
So recognizing something that is so out of character, like who could imagine that, this little woman could be choking out this 18-year-old, psycho, right? And the guy's begging for his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
All right. At some point, I want you to, because now we're going to shift a little bit. Because this is kind of like a spiritual lesson. Okay. Because what happened is in the 4th grade, when that happened, when you grabbed that baseball bat, something happened inside of you. You became a protector. You became someone that cares for others, protects others, someone that did not have a choice. Okay. So normally when I'm in the 4th grade, how old am I in the 4th grade?
9, 10.
9 or 10 years old. So that's a child. So you were robbed of your childhood and you had to become a protector. You had to become your mom's bodyguard. You had to constantly be on alert. And the only choice you had was to be strong. And what happened is, in order to stay strong, I have to constantly be in situations where I can become stronger. And in order to stay strong, I have to do things that make me stronger. Okay, I have to put myself in situations that are difficult. I have to get into relationships that are toxic, violent. I have to take on jobs that are difficult and violent. The only way for me to stay strong and on top of my game is to always be in a situation where I'm forced to test my strength.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where are you now?
I'm in my dining room. I'm like spooked. You nailed it.
You're in a place where yet again,
Yeah.
you are testing your strength.
Yeah. Different way, but yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Would you say that you have learned most of your lessons through pain and suffering?
Probably all of them. Yes.
Okay. Are you done learning your lessons through pain and suffering?
Yes.
Yes.
If that's possible, yeah.
Yes.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you feel safe?
Yes.
Okay. Is your current job, is your current home, is your current environment, is your current circle of influence, is everyone safe?
Yes.
Okay. Then it is time to tell the universe, thank you, universe. Go ahead. Thank you, universe,
Thank you, universe,
for making me strong.
for making me strong. Thank you, universe, for making me strong.
Thank you, universe, for teaching me all these hard lessons.
Thank you, universe, for teaching me all these hard lessons.
It is through these hard lessons that I am the woman that I am today.
It is through these hard lessons that I am the woman that I am today.
And I am officially done learning through pain and suffering.
And I am officially done learning through pain and suffering.
So, thanks for the cancer, but I'll pass.
Thanks for the cancer, but I'll pass.
Okay.
That's good.
This is what I want you to walk. This is how I want you to wake up every morning. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm done. I'm strong enough.
Right. You're right. I am strong enough. I don't need this anymore of this shit.
I don't need this shit anymore.
No, I don't.
Okay. And what are you feeling inside your body right now?
A little bit more relaxed. It's not as the adrenaline isn't searing. I'm not like that. So it's
a little more peaceful.
Better. Yeah, a little bit more relaxed. Not totally, but I have a hard time relaxing to begin with, but it's and it's actually, I'm just now getting to the point where I can go into if like when COVID first hit, I was cool with it because I didn't want to be around people. But now that I'm going into places, I noticed that I'm not nearly as hyper vigilant as I used to be. If I used to go into a room, I knew exactly where the exits were, exactly where the people were, exactly, I knew all of that. And I noticed that I'm not as quick to do that, and before I was getting hyper vigilant or just not enough, like all or nothing with my recovery. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to drink, but that's not recovery. That's just avoiding, unleashing the beast of my active addiction, but now I don't have that. So that's pretty good.
It's an interesting dynamic, isn't it? It's an interesting thing, but it's almost like trying to understand how it is that you could overtake an 18-year-old, kid twice your size.
I did it. I can go wake up my partner. She can verify.
No. I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is the same way that, I can believe it. Trust me. Okay. The same way you can believe in that. How did this happen? How I was able to do that is the same way you can go ahead and relinquish this learning vehicle. It's time to relinquish this path. I'm on another path. So how would you like to learn moving forward, Antoinette?
Well, the one thing that I started doing is I started going to some of those morning groups with Barbara, and there's some other women there. They're reading some good books, and we were reading that today, and you know, discussing it, and yeah, those are, you know, ways to learn, or you know, even book learning is good for me. I mean, I think I'm old enough that I don't have to learn all these life lessons over again. You know what I mean? And I don't need to do it with, you know, painful kind of experiences. I can, I don't know. I want to be a lot kinder to myself, you know, pamper, you know, nurture my recovery, pamper it, you know, when I got it going good, you know, it's going, you know, and it kind of acts like the alcohol in the sense that this brand of recovery that I'm feeling, or this type of feelings that I'm feeling, the more I get, the more I want. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I'm writing down your new. So now that you're no longer going to be learning through pain and suffering, okay, you're going to be learning through appreciation.
Yeah.
Through connection.
Yeah.
Through kindness. And through gratitude.
That should work.
Appreciation.
Right. Wait a minute. Let me write these down. I am. Appreciation.
Kindness.
Connection. And
gratitude.
Yeah. That's good.
So is there a way you can get a second diagnosis?
Yeah, I'm also, I'm going to have further testing that's going to be, you know, the definitive diagnosis on this in a couple of, I guess, the beginning of next week. So yeah, there's also that. So, I mean, nothing's totally set in stone. It's just the doctor that met with me today said she's very, you know, she's very good at this. And yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. So just for the sake of argument, I would get a second opinion, different doctor, if it's a possibility. And then from this moment on, once you set that appointment, visualize a different result. Just visualize it. Just allow yourself, after you've already just relinquished the pain and suffering that no longer serves you, that think about how much gratitude and appreciation you would have for that great result.
Yeah. And I forgot, just I say thanks in the morning, thanks, but no thanks for the C.
Absolutely.
Every morning. Gotcha.
All right. Yes. Oh, and stay close to that higher power. Pray like you did when you first got sober.
Yeah.
All right. This is good. Any questions?
No. And I know, and there's a lot of my partner's already been on the line with some of her buddies. They're prayer warriors, and so they're getting the word out there too. And
okay. So you know, everyone here, there's 11 people plus your nephew. Right. So we're all prayer warriors.
Right.
Okay. I'm okay. Everyone say your prayers for Antoinette. We're going to be beaming love and joy your way.
Thank you.
Antoinette, I love you.
I love you too, Omar.
You're awesome. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I'll see you next week. I want to hear more.
Okay.
All right. Shannon?
Hi, guys. Sorry, I was trying to be on earlier, but anyhow, my internet was terrible.
No worries. No, it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, that did. I'm so glad it worked out that way, because Antoinette, my heart is with you. If I could just say one thing, the only positive, I mean, my grandma passed away of cancer a couple years ago, but while she knew what was going on, we got to do everything that we needed to, and she got to see everything she needed to, and things she wouldn't have done otherwise. So sometimes, I mean, obviously it's not a good thing, but a little bit of a positive spin on it if I can. So
Thank you,
anyhow, I've been trying to really own my sobriety and own my emotions and stuff like that. And I talked before, I had really been trying to work on like being positive and being happy and those kinds of things in sobriety. And I felt like I'm getting a decent handle on that. And I'm including my, my father that had passed away. I'm including him in my son's life a little bit more to try to just, speaking about other people and things like that. But I mean, most of you all have already heard me long-winded about my mom. My mom is really sick. I have always put my guard up and put my defense mechanism up is that I don't care. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm over it. It's because you drink and it's your own fault. And I just tune it out and I don't listen to her. And I let her go. And I have spoken to her and I've spoken to one of her surgeons and stuff like that. And at this point, long story short, her body is shutting itself down. Her organs are shutting down. She's not able to put anything of substance in her body, like can't even drink water. So she's getting tubes put. She's had feeding tubes in the past, getting put back in. She's like on the phone crying to me.
No. Come back, Shannon. All right, let's give her a moment.
Is it back?
Okay, it's back. All right, you were talking to the doctor.
Oh, sorry. So talking to his doctor.
Body shutting down.
And yes, anyhow. So and I think he's just kind of fed up with this, and he said, listen, black and white. If I try to put a feeding tube in her stomach, she will die on my table. It can't happen. Then he said that really just put me in a really weird spot. And this isn't entirely related to her drinking. Last time I saw her, she was not drinking. And you can tell the skin and the smell and all of that wasn't there. So anyhow, I felt really guilty. I felt really bad about that. She's never even held my daughter because she doesn't have the strength to put my child in her arms. And 2 weekends ago, my stepfather passed away. They had been divorced. We reconnected, and he passed away a couple weeks ago. And it just put me right back in this real fucked up place. The first time when they got divorced, we had a relationship still. And one day he was just gone. And it was a lot due to a relationship between him and my mom. It was terrible. She was doing a lot of stuff she shouldn't have been doing, and he couldn't take it anymore. And he was just gone. And that's the first person to ever hurt me, and the first person to ever leave me. I was 8 years old, and then he passed away. I went back into that spot, and I've been really isolating myself because I'm embarrassed of my feelings. I was embarrassed at how much I needed him in my life. I'm embarrassed that I love my mom the way I do because of how she's done me in the past. And so all of those things I'm so embarrassed about. And I just I stopped going to meetings and I stopped talking to people and I stopped connecting. And then I get into this, I'm sure everybody knows exactly what I'm talking, that whole thing where I put my recovery, I can make every excuse in the book not to do this. And this is so uncomfortable for me. And I just I'm kind of just this, I don't know what else to do. And I'm not in a position I am in a position to help my mom, but I'm also not, because she married the man that used to beat us when I was in high school, and she knew where I stood on that. If they did get married, my kids wouldn't be around him. All those things were said before she got married. But now it's what am I supposed to do? I can't, if they do these surgeries and you die, then what? I wasn't there for you. But she knew my boundaries, and so I'm just struggling, and I'm feeling very lonely, and just those kinds of things. I'm feeling obviously all these people in these meetings are incredible and supportive, but you're not physical people right here, and so I feel very lonely, and to no doing of my family or anything like that. It's just been a lot.
So you mentioned the word embarrassed a lot. So what are you embarrassed about? So I'm embarrassed because
I have emotions.
I have emotions. Okay. And what are those emotions?
I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm really overwhelmed.
Okay. Okay. And so it sounds like you have a lot of shame.
Yeah.
So maybe what you're feeling is shame, or maybe you're using the word embarrassed instead of I'm feeling a lot of shame.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm feeling there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of overwhelm.
Yeah.
Your mother is dying, correct?
Yeah.
Your stepfather passed away. Okay. So for what reason would you try not to feel those feelings?
I don't know. I have this stigma in my head that I've always been that way. I've always hid my emotions. When my father had passed away, I felt guilty that I was gonna miss him because it would make my mom sad because I hated each other. So I feel like that's always been part. I was 11 or 12, so I feel like that's always just been. I don't want other people to take on that burden. I don't want other people's hearts to like hurt for me, or like I don't want to upset somebody or be an inconvenience.
Mm. So could it be that you don't feel worthy or deserving of love?
Yeah, 100%.
What are you still punishing yourself about?
I don't know. I mean, I my drinking caused a lot of pain, and potentially like a lot of potential damage I could have, because I know the things that could have happened if I continued, or things that should have happened when I was drinking that didn't happen because I got lucky.
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the big question. There is this overwhelming sense of guilt and shame and unworthiness. It's as though I'm trying to feel these feelings. And there is this, it's almost like a need. It's almost like I need to feel this way. I need to feel this way because
I don't know. I feel like that's really where I'm stuck. I don't know. Like at this point, like I'm just like fuck it. Like just I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. Like I really don't. I'm just burnt out. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know.
so there's a lot of tragedy that's happened in your life.
Yeah.
It's happening to your mother, it happened to your stepfather, it's happened to you. Okay. And you've all had to deal with addiction to one degree or another. So would you consider, if we were to categorize to what degree one would be an alcoholic, would you consider yourself less of an alcoholic, more of an alcoholic?
I don't know. I mean, I feel a little like on the lower scale. I mean, I know you're not supposed to compare people, but if I were to look at my mom, I think I'm like a couple. I feel lower than that. I don't know. I feel like a little bit on the lower scale.
Okay, not as much.
No.
Okay. So there's almost like this yearning to suffer. Like I want to suffer here. Like what potentially could be the secondary benefit for all of this suffering?
Nothing. My whole family suffers the consequences of that. Like,
So this is where you know, you're stuck and I'm stuck. Okay. Because I'm, normally something will pop up, right? Something will pop up. But it almost feels as though, if for example, guilt and shame and suffering was a pillow, you're holding on to this, like this is my pillow and I refuse to let it go.
yeah. I feel like it's definitely maybe like a trauma response or like just a safety mechanism. Because if I'm already hurting, like, what else can happen?
Well, that is, if you've ever heard the term foreboding joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So I've heard that you've heard the term foreboding joy.
Yeah.
Feeling and expressing joy is painful. When you are let down and we are disappointed, when things don't go the way we want them to, we start to develop ways of protecting ourselves from being disappointed. So if I just walk around always disappointed, expecting to be disappointed, suffering or expecting to suffer, feeling guilty, feeling shame, then I can't be let down and disappointed. I'm already as far down as I can go. So when was the last time you did not feel this way?
Never.
I don't know.
who was that?
Michael.
So Shannon, you have been like this for a long time.
Yeah.
You're holding, this is your whoopee. Okay. So this is me feeling safe. So I have a safety blanket. I have a security blanket that protects me. It allows me to not set myself up for disappointment. It allows me not to be let down. It allows me not to be hurt. And so right now, this is what you're going through. And yet again, there it is. Your mother's going through what she's going through. And my question to you is, how are you currently showing up for your mother?
I'm not. I don't even know what to do because first, she lives in Chicago. I live in Indiana. And second, I mean, I'm not, I won't, and this is the first boundary I've ever set for myself, is that I won't be around her husband. I just won't. He did horrible things to my whole family. And my kids' eyeballs will never set his eyeballs. Like that will just never happen. That's where I'm at. And so, like, what the hell, what am I supposed to, like, that's what I think is just driving me so crazy, because what am I supposed to do? I'm like angry because I want to be a part of this, but what am I supposed to do? When you did this to me, like you did this to us, you did this to our family, you knew exactly where I stood from before you guys got married. You called me and told me, and I told you my children will not be around him. My kids will not spend the night. I will not be around. That is what it is. And you knew that. Like, so now what? Just because something is different in your life, like, why do I have to keep making myself feel like shit to make you feel better?
Good. This is much better.
Okay.
Good. This is much better. So let me ask you a question. What would you like to do?
I want to be close to her, and I want to care, and I want to be involved, but that's that thing that's stopping me, that roadblock, is that I can't if that situation doesn't change.
Okay. So there is a middle of the road here. So there's two extremes. We just simply have to bridge the gap. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is, I'm not doing anything. And there is, I got to go over there and be next to her. Okay. Where could there be a middle ground between those two chasms?
Yeah, that's definitely like where I've been. I definitely need to like reach out to her more. I don't really call her that much. I've been trying to help her with doctor stuff. So I feel like really all I can do is that and let her FaceTime me kids. They're doing like a baptism type thing at church on Sunday, and that really hurt me because my family's obviously not there, and it was kind of making me feel lonely. So I gave her the live stream past like thing so she could watch it on Facebook. So I'm uncomfortable about it, but I'm trying because I feel like we need to be uncomfortable.
So for what reason is that not enough?
I don't know. Because it makes me unhappy that I'm not doing enough. Maybe. I don't know.
Not doing what?
Like I because if I don't feel like I'm doing enough, I can still be sad at myself. I don't know.
So at some point you have to make a decision as to what it is that you are willing to do based on the circumstances. Your mother made some choices and she's living with those choices. And you've made some choices and you're living with those choices. But ultimately, there is a place where it is enough. And so when my father was dying and the same thing was going on with him, right? The only thing left for me to do was just whisper in his ear, Dad, I love you. And if you are holding on, waiting for me to say it's okay for you to go, it's okay for you to go. I know you're suffering. I know you're in a lot of pain. And I love you very much. I'm good. I'm okay. And I had my sisters do the same thing. We all let him go. We all said, we love you. And if you need to go, we're fine. We're okay. And maybe the only thing that you need to do is just make the phone call. We take on too much. We either take on too much or we completely disconnect ourselves. There is a middle ground. There is a place that is enough. It is enough to make the call. It is enough for the kids to FaceTime. It's enough. It's enough. And at some point, it's also time to forgive yourself. And it's not about the things that you have done. It's about the stories you've chosen to believe about yourself. That's the difference. There's me and there's my behavior. There's me and the stories that I tell myself about me. And it sounds something like I forgive myself for ever believing that I wasn't good enough. I forgive myself for ever believing that it was all my fault. Because all it is just a belief. And I hold on to my belief and then I punish myself year after year. And then my children pay for it and my husband pays for it and my friends pay for it and my family pays for it. Kind of like your mother's doing. And sometimes we carry that burden subconsciously as a way to honor them. Maybe it's time to let that go. Are you ready to let that go, Shannon?
Yeah.
It starts with your own family. It starts with your kids and it starts with your husband. That's where it starts. How do I want to show up for them? Antoinette's a great example of showing up You know, doesn't matter what the fuck is going on in the background. I am showing up ready for service, ready to express happiness, love, and joy. You've got this whoopee. Okay. You've almost have to grab the whoopee, go over to the toilet, shove that thing in there, and flush it down the toilet and say, thank you. I don't need you anymore. I don't need to be sad and shameful and filled with guilt. It wasn't my burden to carry. This doesn't belong to me. My children don't deserve this any more than I did. What's coming up for you as I say all that?
My kids, like, I don't know, the biggest thing that I've tried to do, like, that gives me the most anxiety is that my kids have a better life than I did, and that they never see me suffer, and that they never see me drink. And I just know that, like, even though, like, I think I'm not doing it right, you know, like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna dwell on that either, but that's that factor that, like, I'm still not doing the right, I'm not making the right choices, like, because I'm not okay. Because I just don't ever, I want them to have a different life than I did.
It starts with you, Shannon. It starts with you. They will model you. They will model you the way you model your mother. You simply have to let it go. All right. So, any questions? No questions. All right. It's already the top of the hour. Does anyone want to have any final words for either Antoinette or Shannon? Go ahead, Leo.
Love you both so much. So much, man. And it's still hard. Loving myself is still hard. Being worthy is still hard. But you know what? I am, and so are you. And trust the folks around you, and trust the person that's inside of you, and that your heart's beating. And you got people around you that love you, but loving yourself, man, oh man, it's doable. It's work. It still is for me, but it's work. And I love you both.
Thank you, Leo. Anyone else? Paula, we haven't seen you in a while. Got anything?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm glad I could make it. I've been busy working during the day, but I heard these ladies were going to be out here today, and I knew that I had to find a way to make some time because they are warriors, they are winners, they are so inspiring. You know, I know, I think back to my early recovery and the challenges that I went through that made me stronger. And I watched the challenges you guys are going through. And I don't know if I could have done some of the things that you're doing. You guys are incredible. This is long-term recovery. I didn't understand it at first. The same thing, I could tell the same stories. You think all of a sudden you did everything right, everything you're supposed to be doing, and then somebody pulls the rug out from underneath your feet and you go, what the hell just happened? This isn't fair. I'm finally doing the right things. But then my sponsor reminded me, just because I sobered up didn't mean life didn't happen. You know, nobody promised me it was going to be a bed of roses and every day I was going to wake up to perfume and flowers and candies. Okay, this is life on life's terms, but I didn't know that when I used and abused. That's why I used and abused, because I couldn't handle life on life's terms. But now all of a sudden I'm thrust into this new world where I can't use, or I choose not to use. And so I have to learn new ways, new coping skills, new systems, new teamwork, new safety valves, all the stuff is brand new, and you two are doing so awesome at it. You don't hold yourselves back. You guys are just amazing, and the stories that you're gonna have to tell about your recovery is gonna inspire people for decades to come. So please just keep suiting up, showing up like you're doing, and just keep being amazing and inspiring us all. And we will be there for you, just like you're there for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paulie. Powerful message. You know, the children, our children, our ability to see what love and joy looks like. Unconditional love and joy. That's what children are. Children are beautiful. They're free. They're unencumbered by all the weight that we carry. But they're also here to show us that more than anything, try and remember who you are. They are love and joy. That's what children are. And guess what? So are we. We are love and joy. And we just forget. We go through these unimaginable situations and moments in our lives where we have to evolve and change and grow. We have to become strong. We have to become defensive. We have to protect ourselves. We have to forebode joy. We live in fear to protect ourselves. But we forget that there was a time where none of that existed. It was purely just love and joy. And the journey of life is for us to walk through all of the pain and the suffering that is unavoidable in life, because that's where all the lessons come from. But once we've learned those lessons, it's time to go back to spreading what we were born with: love and joy. And when we forget, that's when we have our kids. We have our kids to remind us. So, Shannon, turn on your mic. We're going to do one more exercise.
Alrighty.
All right. So, ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, thank you, unconscious mind,
Thank you, unconscious mind,
for always protecting me and keeping me safe.
for always protecting me and keeping me safe.
Thank you, unconscious mind,
Thank you, unconscious mind,
for always preparing me or keeping me ready, alert for opportunities where I could get hurt, let down, or disappointed.
Oh man. All right, let me try it. Let me try if I remember all that. All right, start from the beginning again.
Thank you, unconscious mind,
Thank you, unconscious mind,
for teaching me how to protect myself
for teaching me how to protect myself
from being let down and disappointed by others.
from being let down and disappointed by others.
This no longer serves me.
No longer serves me.
And I choose to go into this world with gratitude, love, joy, and appreciation.
And I choose to go into this world with gratitude, love, joy, and appreciation.
Perfect. What you're doing, Shannon, is enough. Okay? Making those phone calls, doing the FaceTime, that's enough. Okay? What you need to do more of is be spreading that love and joy with your children and with your husband. That's it. Any questions? All right. Lots of love. Thank you all. Sending you all so much love and joy. Antoinette, I can't wait to hear what happens over this next week.
Can't wait to talk about it. Take care.
I'm sending tons and tons of love and prayer and joy and Godspeed to you.
Thank you. Love
Shannon,
y'all.
love you, sweetheart. Shannon, love you.